And so people are posting on social media and they're doing the things that they think drive business, but ultimately really don't. But if you're going to produce at a high level, you have to prospect on purpose. That's one of the things that I say a lot is you have to prospect on purpose. You have to have a prospecting plan.
Hey, welcome back to Loan Officer Growth. And I have a great friend of mine actually returning. Adam Crosley has been on the pod, and nice to see you, man. How you doing?
Dude, thanks for having me back, brother. It was a great time last time. I'm doing awesome. So I appreciate being back.
Very cool. So yeah, we were just talking. I had a couple of people reach out, a couple of listeners reach out and want to hear more about you and your, I guess when we were talking last time, you brought up that you kind of help coach your realtor partners. And a lot of loan officers don't do that. They, just ask for business and keep going. And so I would love for you to elaborate on what you do. I know you coach your loan officers in-house, your team, and then would love to hear about you coaching your realtors and kind of helping them in ways to help grow their business.
Got it. Cool. So yeah, let me just make a couple of notes. You got me a couple of good talking points here.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's start with realtors. So I've never been a realtor. Okay. So full disclosure. Okay. But It's my assumption that when somebody goes to become a realtor and they go through the course to do it, it teaches you a lot about real estate, but it's mostly ethics and real estate law and all these other things. But what it's not is how it's not business skills, it's not sales skills to go out and make a dollar. Right?
Exactly.
Like anybody can live in an ivory tower and get all the wisdom and learn all the things, but until you learn how to sell, you're never going to do anything, right? And you mentioned that I coach the loan officers on our team here at Crown, and I do. And whether it be a realtor or a loan officer or fill in the blank salesperson, one thing that I think most salespeople don't do well enough is prospect.
Right.
We are salespeople. Yes, we're a salesperson that sells loans. They might be a salesperson that sells real estate, but I think most people, sales is, Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, right? Old school, right? Sales is a contact sport. And not enough people are out there making the phone ring. It might have been you taught me this a long time ago, Richard, but what's the best way to make a phone ring?
Start making phone calls.
Exactly. Pick it up and dial, right? And so one of the things that I teach, just like, and my model is very similar to like the Freedom Club and the DSP, and I have a prospecting plan, right? So I have a plan that I work because the plan works. Right. So on Mondays, I'm calling realtors. On Tuesdays, I'm doing my just ask to anybody that's currently under contract. I'm on Wednesdays, I'm calling my past clients. On Thursdays, I'm calling all my pre-approved and looking. I kind of mix it up. On Fridays, I call like a VIP and like center of influence, people that I just know in the community that I think can send me business. And that's my prospecting plan. And that's a very similar prospecting plan that I've learned from some of the biggest coaching groups in the country, but also that I then teach as well to my students and some of my peers here at Crown. But when I'm teaching and talking to realtors just need to learn basic sales stuff that sometimes I think if we're producing at any level, we just kind of take for granted. So one of my things that when I'm talking to agents, especially initially, I just kind of ask, what is your prospecting plan? And it's literally, it's night and day. Right? Either people have a prospecting plan and they have a strategy to get business, or they absolutely don't. And if you're just hoping, if you're if you're just hoping to get business, hope isn't a strategy, right?
Yeah, waiting for that phone to ring.
Exactly. So people are posting on social media and they're doing the things that they think drive business, but ultimately really don't. But if you're going to produce at a high level, you have to prospect on purpose. That's one of the things that I say a lot is you have to prospect on purpose. You have to have a prospecting plan. So the prospecting plan that I teach realtors, as far as a power hour goes, now a lot of people in today's day and age have gotten away from phones, right? Nobody wants to use the phone. Everybody sends it all to voicemail. It all goes to text. The phone is still my number one sales tool.
Right.
I think that the phone is the most. It's not the most effective tool that we have in our sales arsenal as a salesperson, but I think it's the most efficient. I can sit right here. I can just bang the phone. I can use a power dialer. I can do all these different things so that I can make more contacts super, super fast. And I mean, like, here's my DSP that I use. I mean, it's Tuesday morning at 11:40, and I've had 31 sales conversations so far this week.
Nice.
Like, I think you have to have a prospecting plan so that you can execute at a high level. And that's the main thing that I teach agents. So if I'm an agent, if I just parachuted and, I was in, pick a town anywhere US and I was a realtor tomorrow, this is what I would do. And this is hence what I teach. So Mondays, I would who do you know? Like center of influence, right? And so for me, my center of influence calls, they're divorce attorneys, they're builders, they're insurance agents, they're the Chamber of Commerce, they're people that I've met at Rotary. I've got an electrician that sends me business. I have financial planners that send me business. I have a guy that owns a garbage company that every time he gets somebody buys a house, they call him for garbage. Like he tells me about them, and he just starts talking to him, and he sends me a lot of referrals. So referrals can come from anywhere. And especially if you're a realtor, like, these are, things that people see, so it's building that network and building that sphere. And most of those calls, that's why I do mine on Fridays, because I think they're just kind of fun calls. But if I'm a realtor and, you're a financial planner, it's more of like an acquaintance type call. And then at the very end of the call, excuse me, I coach them to say, hey, just want to let you know, I obviously, Richard, I know you and I know each other, but I just want to put my realtor hat on, and just, do you know anybody that's looking to buy a house in the next 6 to 12 months? Any friends, family, coworkers? If you do, could you let them know that I exist? I always appreciate working with awesome people. You're awesome. And I know you tend to know awesome people as well. So a script, something similar to that, right? So Mondays, call center of influence. Tuesdays, call anybody that you currently have under contract. Wednesdays, call all your past clients. Thursdays, call anybody that's out there shopping. Is there anything you want to go see this weekend? Is there anything that you want to do? And then Fridays, I would follow up with more center of influence or more builders if you're in a builder heavy market.
Right.
So
awesome.
So that's one thing, because most agents, I feel, need that.
Agree. Yeah.
Right. Second thing is I teach a lot of classes. I teach about 10 classes a year. I try to do it every month. December gets a little hectic, and like July or August, I usually only do one there because attendance is super low. So I usually only do one in the summer, and I usually skip December. Excuse me. But the classes that I teach are they're basic sales classes. I use a lead tracker document to track all of my leads. It would blow this is a question. Like, if you're a loan officer and you're out there talking to realtors, just ask them how they track their leads.
Right.
And most people are going to say, well, I use my phone, or I've got 1,000 Post-it notes, and that's one group. Or the other group is, hey, I've got this really dialed in CRM, da, 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 da. But I think you're going to find that that's probably less than 5% of agents out there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just a number I anally extricated. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's very, very small. Right.
I think I agree with you. Yeah.
I've used Excel. I use a Google Doc that I can share with my whole entire team. We've gone with different CRMs, but we always just tend to go back to this Google Doc just because it's simple and it works.
Yeah.
But we track that. We write down the lead, where it came from, where are our notes on it. And I teach agents to do the same thing. If you can just track your leads down in one place, you'll be a more efficient salesperson. You'll end up increasing your conversion ratio. If the average agent gets 7 leads and 10, let's just say it's 10 leads a month, right? Well, if they can increase their conversion rate by 2%, by 2 deals rather, that's 20% increase on their conversion. And let's say the average agent makes, I don't know, $10,000 a deal. It's an extra $20,000 that they're going to make a month because they're actually tracking where their leads come from.
And they're not letting them fall through the cracks. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, we all get busy, and, one of the things I suffer from is because I pack way too much into my weekends. I'll talk to somebody on a Thursday or Friday. By Tuesday, I forgot who that person was sometimes.
Yeah.
And just by tracking it, it's there. So the classes that I teach, 1, what is your prospecting plan? 2, how do you track leads? And then the other big one that I teach that gains a lot of popularity is how I do social selling. So how I do social selling is I've got my list. And so if I'm an agent, it would be my list of my VIPs, my center of influence, maybe my past clients, whomever. I got my list, and I have 2 screens. I keep my list on one screen. I'm a Facebook guy, so I just use Facebook. I go in here, Richard Smith, and I make a comment on your last post. I go to Adam Crosley, make a comment on your last post. Carl White, make a comment on your last post. Whatever. I just bang through them all. And if I'm going to go and I try and comment on, my personal goal is to make 20 comments or DMs a day. If I do that, literally takes 15 minutes because I've got a list here and I've got that. Facebook, Instagram, they spend billions of dollars trying to suck you in and stay on the platform, right? So you don't scroll. It's very tactical. List on one screen, Facebook on this, search bar, most recent post, make a little comment.
Yeah, I love that because you're staying top of mind with them big time.
Yeah, but if I'm a realtor, that's what I would do. I would create my lists, and then I would socially sell to them. I would get in Facebook groups where people are searching for houses, and I would comment on those things because people start commenting on your stuff, and then what do? They get curious as to who you are. So then they're going to go back to your Facebook page, and I like to think about Facebook as it's not social media; it's business media.
Right.
It's like, this is my business page. This is what I do for a living. Yes, I've got a lot of stuff about me and my kids and my garden and everything else, but a lot of it's business. You get on my page, you can tell exactly that Adam's a loan officer and I help people buy houses. Right? If I'm a realtor, you should be able to tell that right away because people, and I don't remember the exact number, but people get on there and it's like a first impression, right? In 3 seconds, they're going to decide if they're going to hang out on your page and study a little bit further, or if they're going to go back down the rabbit hole to once they came.
Yeah. And the cool thing about Facebook is when you start commenting on their stuff, Facebook's going to start showing you on their pages. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The EdgeRank thinks that you guys are better friends, and now you're seeing each other more.
Exactly.
But also, if you're a loan officer, that's a really cool trick to, one of the things I've done, kind of segue from that, is I do that with the realtors that I'm prospecting as well. And then when I call them, my calls get answered at a higher rate because I've already built a digital relationship before I built a real, belly to belly relationship.
Right. Love that.
So I just teach basic classes on basic sales stuff. I live in the Northern Adirondacks, and I run, self-proclaimed hillbilly. I run a very simple business, but the thing that I have found is simple works, right? One of my old mentors taught me that a boring business is the best business that you can have because it's predictable. I don't want highs. I don't want lows. I just want steady ed.
Right.
So to your point, that's what I teach. I teach basic sales stuff. I'll go read a book and then I'll present the book.
Right.
Like I've done a class on raving fans. I don't know if you've got a huge library. I'm sure you've read that. It's one of my favorite books, and it's a simple book that I can give away. You can buy a dozen of them for $50 and give them to everybody in the room. So I love to teach classes. I also love to teach classes. This is another segue, and this is more for loan officers. And the reason I have a lunch and learn and a happy hour almost twice a month, every month, is that when I'm making calls, I've got something of value. It's really an easy bunt to just say, like if I'm prospecting you, Richard, and I know you a little bit, we've maybe done a deal or so, or you're the listing agent on a deal that I'm working on. Oh, hey, Richard, we're actually having an event next week, and we're going to be talking about whatever at my office. Brother, I've got one spot left. I would love to have you come.
Yeah, it totally warms those calls. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just like a little bunt, right? It's like, and the reason I have 2 events almost every month is just when I'm making my calls and doing my prospecting plan, if there's somebody that I want to get closer into my sphere, I can just add that as icing on the cake.
Yes. Love it.
Right. So, and then when we do a presentation in America, we just trust our teachers, right? Like,
yep.
And people do business who they know, like, and trust. And when you go to somebody for education, you trust them at a higher level typically. So my agents, I try to get them in front of me so that they see me teach. So I have that position of authority. So then they come, like, I had a call this morning, really wonky situation. They came to me and they said, well, how do we do this? And this other lender's going to deny it. And I was like, well, it was a horse property and nobody wanted to finance it because of some of the stuff that was on the property. Well, could we just cut the house off and just sell the house and do this for $1? It's like, again, hillbilly approach, right? Like, let's just simple it down, and but people come to me with some of their wonky problems because they trust me, even if I'm not on the deal, and I've been able to build relationships and build a reputation as the guy that can get things done because of that. But yeah, with agents, it's just teaching them, because I don't know how this is across the country, but in my market, the brokers don't do an amazing job of teaching the agents.
Right.
Even though that falls under their job description. Some of them are awesome, but most aren't.
Oh no, they're let loose on their own. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we can be that resource, if we can be that educational source for them, if we can be the YouTube that they go to every time they have a question, right? Then we're going to build that level of trust. Because to me, and this is something that I say over and over to my team and to my students that I coach, when an agent refers me a deal, they're referring me their paycheck. So I need to treat it like they're referring me their paycheck. Yes, it's a family, but that agent has the confidence in Adam to make sure that I'm going to deliver his paycheck. So I talk to them, and one of the big, things on our team is get a call, make a call. We talk to the client, we talk to the agent.
Yep.
And it's constant communication with the agents because their livelihood is entrusted to us by them referring us. So we have to honor them in doing so. But also I honor them in educating them because I believe in reciprocity. And if I can help them go from making $20,000 a year to $60,000 a year, that could change that person's world. If I can get them from 50 grand to 150 grand, it's going to change that person's world. And I almost don't even need to call and ask for business because my business is just naturally going to grow with theirs.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I educate. I mean, yes, it is self-serving, but also at the same time, I love helping people. And I'm a student of success. I believe that success leaves clues. I have had a professional coach in the mortgage business since November 2013 is when I hired my first coach. And so 11 years now, which is sickens me, but
no, that's awesome. And we all need coaches.
Well, but we do, right? I mean, like, if you're going to get better at anything, you have to have a coach. You have to have somebody that's going to kind of keep you in the guidelines, but you have to be a student of success.
Right.
And again, if you listen and learn, then you can take that and pour that into other people. So if you're on the fence, if you're listening to this, and you're like, I'm on the fence, man, I'm scared, I don't want to teach. Like, there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of coaching groups that you can just get in and copy their material, and make it your own.
Exactly.
There's a lot. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just speak from the heart and help and give. Because if you can help others, was Zig Ziglar's old quote, right? If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah, that's very true too.
It really is, right? And it's But I think most people, most agents are starved for real information.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on, especially when they get done with their real estate school, they take their test, they become a realtor. They haven't studied or they were not taught 1 minute of prospecting or marketing.
Yeah.
They literally now have to become a marketer because they know they have the right stuff to be a realtor, but now they have to be a prospector. They have to be a marketer. They have to get out there and change gears into 100% in what they were taught into what they have to do now to get the business. Yeah, it's amazing.
One of my favorite scripts for new agents that I teach. So if you're a lender out there, this is a script you could embody, and I think I originally got it from Brian Buffini. I went to one of his classes, and it was really neat. So like if you're a new agent, you're kind of door knocking or you're just asking people. So it's do you like Richard? Are you currently working with a realtor, or do you currently have a realtor? And the answer for most people is no, because they're not actively looking to buy a house,
Right.
right? But okay, cool. Richard, do you own a home? So let's kind of explore this chain, because there's only a couple of questions and there's answers to each question, and it all comes down to one of two things, to one of two ways that it can go, but it's really good for a new agent, right? So let's role play. I'll be the agent. Richard, you be the homeowner. Okay.
Sure.
Anybody listening, you guys can use this script. It's a great script. It's a script that I teach all my newer agents because I think it's a great way for them to build a database, build a network. So, let's say it's, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Richard, it's Adam. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Dude, brother, I'm doing awesome. So in this scenario, we know each other, but Richard may or may not know that I'm in real estate. Okay. Just got my realtor license. Cool, dude. Things are going great. And everything else. How's the wife? How's your son?
Doing good, doing good. How are you doing?
Dude, that's great. I actually, I just got my realtor license.
Oh,
I'm gonna,
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna get into real estate.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm brother, I'm beyond excited. Um, but just real quick, do you have a realtor?
I do not.
Cool. And I assume but you own a house.
No, I don't. We're thinking about buying one, but it's going to be a few years.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. So, to kind of pivot here, yeah, awesome. Well, can I just, where are you looking? I mean, if you want, I can just kind of keep you in if you're in any markets, if any houses come up for sale.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. I'll get you that, and I'll put you in my database.
Nice.
All right. So, but let's say that Richard does own a house.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So, Richard, you own a house, right?
Yes, sure do.
Okay. Cool. But you're not looking to move or anything anytime recently, right?
Not at any time
Awesome.
soon.
Cool. Richard, are you curious as to how much your house is worth?
Yeah.
Everybody's curious to that.
Exactly.
So awesome. Cool. Hey, do you mind if I, like, from time to time, maybe twice a year, I just, run a report, do a CMA for you, so that way you know what your property is going to be worth?
Yep, that would be great.
Dude, that's awesome. Cool. I'll do that for you. I'll put it on twice a year, and I'll get you a CMA twice a year. Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. And so if you're a new agent, it's going to give you practice to do a CMA, because you need that practice.
Yeah.
But then you're also giving an item of value to somebody, and you're building a sphere. And then as you continue to deliver on that, then that person then can refer you business.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when they're ready, who are they going to call?
Exactly. Cool. So now tell me, ring, ring, ring. So we're going to go the other way. Yes,
Hello?
I have a
Hello.
ring, ring, ring. Hey, we have our conversation. Richard, you own a house? Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Do you have a realtor that you work with?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Dude, that's awesome. I know you've been in your house for a few years. Are you looking to buy a house?
No.
Okay, cool. So can I just got in the business, and I know you've been in your house for 5 years. Do you mind if I ask what your agent does that you're just so loyal to them after 5 years later? I'm a student of success, and I just want to see what they're doing so that I might be able to implement those things in my business.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Okay. So then you're going to say one of two things. You're either going to say, when I say that, you're going to say, well, what do you think the two things you are going to say?
What do I think? I think one is I don't really hear from them.
That's one, right? Oh, yeah. Well, they just help me, but they haven't talked to me since the closing table.
Exactly.
Which, if they do, they'd be like, oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Would you mind if I sent you a CMA twice a year? Would you be interested in it? So I kind of go back to that other script, right?
Yeah.
Instead of adding to my database. Or it's, oh, my agent sends me a card every month, calls me on my birthday, sends me a pie at Thanksgiving. Again, that's probably going to be less than 5% of the agents out there, right?
Right.
But that's there. And if that's the case, Richard, could you do me a huge favor? Would you mind, connecting me? Again, I'm a student of success. I would love to meet your agent. And you're the first person I've talked to that actually somebody does that on such a high level. I would love to know who this person is.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
So do you have an agent? Yes, I have an agent. And okay, so they've left me alone since the closing, or they are very responsive, or no, I don't have an agent. Either one of these scenarios, you're just going to confirm back and say, hey, is there any, can I get you a CMA a couple times a year, so that way you're up to speed on what your house is worth in this marketplace. And then you're getting practice as an agent on how to do a CMA, which is good, and you're building a sphere and you're delivering them something of value.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great script that if you're a loan officer, you could coach new agents on, or if you're an agent listening to this, I think it's a great way that you could then take that and then go build a database. So that way, when you have a prospecting plan, you have somebody to prospect to.
Love it. Love it. Some great tips, man.
Oh, anytime, brother. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to, right? Is most agents, not just agents, most salespeople don't sell.
Right.
They just don't prospect enough, and in most industries, when you're selling a high ticket item, you don't need to sell a lot to make a lot of money. But if you can increase your number of leads and increase your conversion ratio, you can have a huge input in your income.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think, just asking, and like you said, it's not just realtors. So we're not picking on realtors. Mm-hmm. It's salespeople in general, but I ask a lot of realtors. So what what have you done? Like, how do you follow up? How do you prospect? What do you do to get the business that you have? Like, let's say they closed 8 or 12 transactions in the last 12 months. What did you do to get that? And the majority of them will say, I know a lot of people and they call me when they need a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like just luck.
And if you've done it for a while, your likelihood of succeeding is higher because people are going to know your name, right? But even a lot of veterans in a lot of markets, they don't really have a prospecting plan.
Yep. As soon as they get a plan, it's like you said, their business will increase substantially.
If anybody works and working a plan is hard, right? It's just because what happens when you work a plan? It works.
Right.
And then you're like, I can't work all this plan because the things that I did to get the business, now I've got too much business and I don't know how to handle it all.
Right.
So then you need to work on strategy and actually running a business and not just sales. But I think the number one thing that probably 80% of all salespeople, probably 90% of all salespeople out there across any industry, but specifically with real estate, is that they don't have a plan to prospect at a high level. And if you, as a loan officer, can help them build that plan, that's how I've delivered value over the years. And right. I think it's one of the best plans out there.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's some really, really great tips.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Wow.
I like doing these because I learn from them too.
Yeah. Maybe I should start my own podcast. That'd be cool.
Hey, you should. You should start a podcast with interviewing realtors, and then go into the training and coaching and tips and things like that. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Not a bad idea.
I can say a shameless plug and and I'll connect you with Ginger Bell. She helps loan officers do that.
Oh, cool. I know Ginger. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Met her at a couple of conferences before.
Yeah. She helps loan officers with setting up the podcast, kind of having the interviews be top performing realtors, gets you in front of great agents at the same time, and then
here's a plug for Ginger. I actually have her book right here.
There you go, Edu Marketing. So we'll put her information below the podcast too, just to kind of.
Ginger's fantastic.
Yeah, she's awesome. Well, you're awesome, man. I appreciate you being on, and you.
Oh, brother, I appreciate
you gave some really, really good stuff for a lot of loan officers. You're going to help a lot of people, man.
Yeah, and if you want to just tag me on this on Facebook, if anybody has any questions, shoot me a DM. I'd love to help you get to the next level.
Okay, yeah. What's the best way for them to contact you?
You can shoot me a DM on Facebook, or
Perfect.
My cell phone is 518-578-3160. Again, 518-578-3160. If you just want to shoot me a text message, I'll get back to you. And I'd love to jam and see if there's any way that I can help you grow your business.
Perfect. Again, Adam Crosley, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Actually, real quick before we go,
yes.
Shameless plug, if you don't mind. I am doing a boot camp. And me and one of the other owners of the company, we're doing a boot camp July 11th. So it's a 5-day boot camp. And I'll give you the information if you could put the tag on that, Richard. It's a free boot camp, and we're just doing it to help other loan officers grow.
Sweet. Love it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, cool.
All right, man. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.